Hello all, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Dead Space Aftermath from 2011. It's directed by Mike Disa and stars Christopher Judge and Ricardo Chavira. Does the title of this sound familiar, perhaps? Then you must like video games because the two Dead Space films in my collection are based on the world of the first two Dead Space video games that came out in 2008 and 2011. Oddly enough, or maybe by true serendipity, the two Dead Space movies are also from those years. Dead Space Downfall was released in 2008, and Dead Space Aftermath was released in 2011, which I've already said. So, way back in the first two episodes of this review project, I said that I'm doing this whole thing alphabetically, and that means that if a film series is presented out of sequence because of that, I would watch it in the out of sequence alphabetical order. However, if the films are back-to-back, then I will reorder them according to sequence. I did this to watch Richard Linklater's Before trilogy in sequence. I bring this up because Dead Space Aftermath is a sequel to the next Dead Space film, Dead Space Downfall, and there is a 50 Drive Movie Classics film between them, Savage Journey, which I'm pretty sure has nothing to do with the earlier 50 Drive Movie Classics film, Savage Weekend. If the two Dead Space films were back-to-back, I would have flipped them to review them in a sequence, but because of that Savage Journey film between them, and I went back and forth on this for a whole day, I'm going to honor the process I set for myself and review them in alphabetical order out of sequence. The lucky thing is I don't think Dead Space Aftermath relies very heavily on you having seen Dead Space Downfall, just as long as you're familiar with the first game and the lore, which luckily I am because I played the first two games back in the day. There was a third game, but I never played it much. Anyway, Dead Space Aftermath. I gotta say that the biggest takeaway I have from this film is how jarring and ugly the main timeline's animation is. It's this sharp-edged CGI that just looks awful. Luckily though, all the flashbacks are more a hand-drawn animation style that I really like, and most of the film is flashbacks, so at least I didn't have to sit through much of the ugliness. Overall, I didn't care for this film that much, and it goes beyond the unfortunate animation choice for the present time sequences. It's because I found the film boring and tedious. It never really roused my interest, and there's a problem because the games are terrifying. Hopefully Dead Space Downfall is better because this one gets a D-. Join me tomorrow as I talk the 50 Drive Movie Classics film, Savage Journey. See y'all then.